Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever it happens to be for you people. This is CodeX Report number 18. Don't have any music today because I didn't really think it was appropriate. I'm going to talk about 420, April 20th today. Um, whether you are a pot smoker, marijuana smoker, or not, most people understand 420 as, the happy 420 day, the smoker's holiday, blah, blah, blah. Okay? Well, this is for those people who just bleedly go along and think, oh yeah, 420, let's go smoke some dope and be happy, right? Let's party. No. Um, if you look at history, 420 is not a good day. It's not a happy day. I personally don't do much of anything on 420 because the more that you go out and do, the more likely you are to have something happen to you on this day. It's just one of those things. Look back in history. Um, I don't have the 420 list on me, but I'm just gonna go from memory here. What happened last year today? Oh, the Deepwater Horizon. Guess what? Nobody's talking about that, and guess what? It's still leaking. They just had another huge leak, like what, a month ago, and nowhere is that being talked about. Um, Kendra Arneson, more power to you. You are doing a phenomenal job trying to get the truth out there. Um, Honestly, you need to get out of there and get yourself well because watching your last videos, you are another victim. You are showing the signs of the same toxic poisoning that you were talking about. Please get the fuck out of the Gulf area, people. You know, uh, Fukushima. This. I in my last Codex report, I talked about who will save the world this time, and there's 80 to 100 million people that have to be evacuated. The Gulf of Mexico, it's 40 to 50 million people. 100 million people. You know, where are they going to go? It's ridiculous. Um, go back, a couple of years ago, you had the um, Columbine. Columbine was on April 19th, which, if you look at the astronomy and astrological side of it, it varies between April 20th and April 19th, depending on the moon phase and the planets. I went into this a little bit in my last video. It's the fire festival. It's the death cult ritual of Baal and Moloch. You know, um, and for you people who say, well, Beltane isn't the festival of Baal. Well, yes, it is. If you go and look at the name, Beltane is Baal. It's the Baal fire. It is, the relighting of the fire for the year. The regeneration of the seasons and everything else. You really need to do some research on this, people. Um, you have Waco. You know, they killed 75 people. 25 children at Waco with fire. Um, the storming of the Jewish ghetto in Poland, in Warsaw, April 20th. Hitler's birthday, April 20th. Um, look at some of the other things. M.K. Jessup um, wrote a book that was one of the first people to really come out and talk about the USS Eldridge and some of the other things along with that, aliens and UFOs and whatnot. What happened to him? 1957 or 59, I don't remember offhand. April 19th, he says that, okay, I'm going to meet with this reporter and, I'm going to tell him everything. Well, he never shows up that night. The next morning, 420, he's found dead in his car in a park with a garden hose running from the exhaust into his window, if I remember correctly. You know, This is my message to the global power elite who follow this ritual. We are not your slaves. We are not your fodder. I will resist you to my dying breath. If I have any strength left in my body, I will resist you. And this is my message to the happy-go-lucky people that say, let's just go and smoke dope and do nothing on 420. You're part of the problem. Go fuck yourself. 420, you need to go out and you need to start talking to people. Start telling people about what 420 is really about. It's not just about some kid heard the cops calling in about somebody smoking weed and it was a code 420 or something, and it got passed along and now it's, urban legend or what the fuck ever. No, 420 is the death cult ritual. It's the fire festival. It is the human sacrifice by fire. Think about it. You sit down and you burn weed. You use fire. Wake up, people. Wake up. See what is going on around you. Your entire reality has been hijacked. Everything that you think you know is not what you think it is. And if you want to see part of this, go to InfoWars and look at the 5 words that the elite use to control you, I think is the name of the article. I'll link it at the bottom of this video. And if you don't understand the straw man, if you don't understand artificial person, if you don't understand the what happened with Citizen United, you are lost. That's all it is. I mean, the powers that be, the people in control and in charge, the uber power elite, the uber rich, the people that run the World Bank, the IMF. People talk about the EU and the UN. They're not even the highest level of it. There's people even beyond them. There's the Round Table of 13. There's the 9 wise men, or is it the 13 wise men or whatever? There's the group of 7, which is not the G7 or the G8. There's the Council of 39. There's the Council of Rome. There's the Committee of 300. There's so many different groups that have their hands in this pie of power. If you want to know who's in control, look at who are the controlling board members of the major international corporations. Look at the top 25 companies, find out who is board members of all those companies, and you'll have a good idea of who the power elite is, or at least who is in the pipeline of the power elite. 420 is not something to be celebrated. It should be, a day of silence for all the people that the power elite have murdered in their occult, demonic sacrifices to Baal and Moloch. And, it's not always right on the date of 420. Look at Chernobyl. Chernobyl was 426. 6 days is not a big deal to these people. I mean, it fits the criteria. It's in the window of between April 19th to April 20th and May 1st. And we need to have a day of silence, not just, a moment of silence for these people. A moment is trivial. These people work on a plan of, 10, 15, 20, 50, 100 years. They know what's going to be happening in 2050. Depending on if there's, natural disasters that happen. I mean, they know that some of these disasters are coming, and do they warn us? No. Why? Because it fits their pattern. They want to eliminate 4 billion people. 5 billion actually. I've heard as high as 5.5. But if it takes them 10 years to do that, then you have to add in another million or another billion people. You know, think about some of that. It's we are we are I'm trying to think of how to say this. We outnumber them, but we need to wake up. We, yes, are waking up because they are accelerating their program to a ridiculous extent. I mean, daily you can see their progression. I don't really have a whole lot else to say. Once again, I would like to ask people to just, on today of all days, just think about what it is that you're celebrating, quote unquote. As a final note, last night I, didn't even consciously realize this, but I happened to go on my Twitter account and Skynet was trending. Well, Skynet became self-aware last night on April 19th at 8:11 Pacific Standard Time, if I remember correctly, in 2011. Now, is that a coincidence or is that part of their plan? Are they programming us with that information or is it the truth? I don't know. I personally think that the Terminator is somewhat of a programming tool. The same thing with the Matrix. Look at some of the similarities between these two movies. Really, I mean, stop and look at it. So Judgment Day is tomorrow, which fits their pattern again. So, as a last note on this video, I'd like to say that if you can hear my voice, you are the resistance. V for victory. Humanity will overcome.